Hello and welcome to Nolo Time, episode 83. My name is Obed Velez, and with me is the most interesting man in the world, Joel Young.
What's good, Nolo time? Good to be with you for episode 83. Obed, it's a pleasure. We've got some fun stuff, even something we had to add in last minute. It's always going to be a good one.
We got breaking news today. We're switching stories around on the
We
fly. On the fly, because there's more interesting stuff that we would rather talk about than some of the medial news that came out this week. Because not a lot happened.
Yeah,
right?
not too much.
It was quiet. It was good.
Yeah.
But Joe, what are you up to, man?
Dude, it's been a pretty nice, chill week. As you and I both had the pleasure, we both found out, with our employer that we were able to have a nice 3-day weekend. So that was a very welcomed, surprise for us. And
It's pretty legit.
Yeah, we are very thankful and very happy. So that's awesome. You probably look at us and hear us. We sound refreshed, and that's because we almost, yeah. We're getting close to the next part of the week, right? The weekend again, but yeah, man. That was great. So it really took some time off just to take care of me, and in that time it comes Netflix binge watching, right? And as I spoke to you guys about last week, I went back and finished out. I was about halfway through last time. I went back and finished out the Umbrella Academy. From the guys at Dark Horse that's on Netflix. And Obed, I am pleasantly pleased with it. It got better. Not that it was bad to begin with, but it was something that started off good, intriguing, and it kept me. And I'm very happy with the way it ended. And I actually look forward to another season. I look forward to seeing more of this storyline being continued. I was talking to someone else who was also seeing the series, and I was telling them, how this is when I was early on before I finished the season. I said, how do you top where they're going? Because the main premise of the first season is the how to change timelines, how to affect things that not happen in the future, right? That ripple effect. If you could change one thing, then certain events would happen in the future, specifically as it related to a vision of an apocalypse coming in the future. And when your first season is about literally the apocalypse, the end of everything, how do you top that in the next season? You know what I mean? Like you're literally, you can't just say it's the end of everything and the next week you're taking out gangbangers. Like you've got to up the ante. And I'm not going to spoil it, but the way they end the series, there's a very continuing linear story that's going to go into the following season 2. So I'm very, very surprised and pleased and happy, and I look forward to seeing more out of this. Obed, I also finished out watching The Gifted on Fox.
I never finished season 1. I dropped out like halfway through.
Bro, it was like pulling teeth. Being honest with you, it was rough. And I thought it was fine the first season in the first few episodes, but I really just am not a fan of the family dynamic that they've got going on there. The dad's not great. The mom sometimes is a little too cheesy, and the kids are a little cheesy as well. And there's just some stuff there, some decisions that could easily be fixed. Yeah, I'm sitting here and I'm going, what are you doing?
Yeah, I know. I think the dad was like, I had that same problem that you're saying. I had an issue with the dad being like all the time. I was like, it was like a big crybaby, right?
Yeah, he was like monologuing too
like
every
a big
scene,
man baby there, just being very sad and I agree with you. I think that's why I dropped off, because I kind of liked it. At the beginning, right? Like you said, the first few episodes were actually pretty good. Yeah. But then I just dropped off, and I was like, I don't know. And I was recording it, and my wife one day was like, hey, just by the way, I deleted like 10 episodes of The Gifted that were in the DVR. I was like, hey, it's fine.
Right.
I'm not mad. Thanks for saving 10 hours of my life, I guess.
Free up the space. I mean, I just finished it just because, and when you put that much time in, you might as well finish it out. And this last season, to be honest with you, I really get the strong inclination that this is it. I don't think they're going to come back for another season. They set it up for them to continue on, but considering where Disney and Fox, the situation is going on there, why would they want to? Not saying that Disney has power over this, right? It's television separate, but why would Fox want to continue on something that, there's maybe not much film support to back these, right? I think that's what these kind of leaned on, was the X-Men films, and then you want more X-Men, you get it during the week. That was the hope, I think, that you got out of it, and it just didn't really work well together. Also, the situation with Bryan Singer, probably some relationships there. They might not want to let him continue to produce this show. I think there's a lot of weird stuff going on there that I just don't imagine them continuing. So, it gave a good finale. The way it ended was good, to be honest. But it wasn't enough for me to feel like I want more. I'll be mad if they cancel it. I actually think it's fine. It served its time. It served its purpose. If you enjoyed The Gifted, good for you. But look, see, guys, I'm not a Marvel. I'm not this Marvel fanboy that just loves everything Marvel. I'll admit it. This show was not one of the ones that got me into it. But yeah, I'm fine if it's canceled.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those shows that are like not necessarily memorable. Like, I know that towards the end, Smallville was really bad, but the show was still memorable. But this is like really, like, it doesn't make me feel anything. It's one of those shows. Yeah. So I mean, I'm not even mad if it gets canceled. So yeah. Not much on my end, man. Actually, I did watch 2 movies. I watched 2 movies. I have an update, and then I have a story. So I watched. Finally got around to watching Ralph Breaks the Internet. Loved it. It was very good. That princess sequence was absolutely
fantastic.
Fantastic. Oh yeah. Like, they can do a sequel just based off of that sequence, and people will flock because he was so good.
It's fantastic.
It was so good.
The My Disney stuff is great.
Yeah. The whole section of the movie is really fantastic. I liked it quite a bit. It was good. I can judge it against Wreck-It Ralph. I think Incredibles 2 is a better movie than Wreck-It Ralph. To be honest with you.
Yeah, Incredibles 2 is good.
Yeah. So I mean, I watched Incredibles 2 already like 4 times, because I watched it once in the theater, and then I watched it on Blu-ray like 3 times because my daughter's like, so watch Incredibles again. It was great. Yeah. I mean, I gotta be thankful my kid's not one of those kids that have movies on repeat. I remember my young cousins, when growing up, had like movies on repeat and rewind and rewatch it on VHS. It was awful. So at least she's not one of those kids. But yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit, so I liked it. Other movie I watched, Joel, and it's something that I mentioned at the beginning of last year, actually, because AMC was going to have one of those Fathom events for a Mazinger Z movie that was coming out, Mazinger Z Infinity. So that movie was a collaboration between Viz and Toei Animation. It was going to come out February. It came out February last year in the Fathom events at the movie theaters here in the U.S. The movie came out in Japan, I think, the end of 2017, but the movie came out on Blu-ray like 3 weeks ago. So I actually went and grabbed it on Blu-ray. I was like, I'm a big, as you can see in the back, if you're watching the video podcast, I'm a huge Mazinger Z fan. That was my first memory of watching anything animated, was watching Mazinger Z. So it's it's me. It's basically one of the things that made me who I am. So why not get the Blu-ray, right? So I went and grabbed the Blu-ray, watched the movie. It was pretty good. I mean, it's a movie that you need to watch, or at least be familiar with the series to get the most of, because there's all the characters are a character shows up, right? And you need to know who that character is because they get no introductions. So, this is like
fan service.
Yeah, exactly. This is like straight up 10 years after, the Great Mazinger series. Interestingly enough, there's like no mention of Grandizer during during the movie, because it does take place after Grandizer. So you need to be familiar with the characters because there's no intros. Like there's a character that's on screen for like 15 minutes, and they're having a dialogue, and it's like, oh yeah, it's this character. I know who that character is. But and then they don't even say the name, so you need to know who the characters are. So they say the character's name later on, but it's one of those things, right? But it was good. I enjoyed it. Animation is a little rough. It's not I haven't seen the Dragon Ball Super movie yet, but based on what I've seen, seems like the budget for that movie was definitely higher than this one. I mean, it looks fine. Sounds good, for anime. But it was enjoyable. I mean, it was one of those things that made me, hit me in the feels just because of what it is. Was it fantastic? Probably not, but it's good enough where I didn't say I was like, well, that was a waste of time. So it wasn't one of those. So it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. So don't regret. I don't regret getting the Blu-ray because it's something that's near and dear to me. So, absolutely. I wouldn't say it's a must-watch, but because you need to be a fan and really need to be familiar with the characters. So, but yeah, if you're familiar with the characters, yeah, I highly recommend it for sure. The other thing, Joe, is I have a story.
Oh, I want to hear this.
All right. So, Devil May Cry 5 comes out Friday, right?
Yep.
Reviews are out already. IGN gave it a 9.5. GameSpot gave it a 9. Destructor gave it a 100. So there's a few perfect reviews, very high reviews. Is reviewing very, very well. Jim Sterling said he was really excited and happy for this game. It's one of those things, right? The game's supposed to be really, really good. So on Friday, right, during our day off, that morning, we went to do some errands, and I came back home. We came back home around noonish, like I want to say like 12:30, and I get an email from Best Buy saying, "Hey, so your order's ready to ship. Your order is about to be shipped. Please go in and verify your info to make sure that everything is good." I had pre-ordered the game back in October, right?
Yeah.
And Best Buy, I've switched my credit card with Best Buy. So I actually upgraded my credit card with Best Buy. So it's like, oh crap, I wonder if they have the right info for the credit card.
Sure.
So I kind of freaked out and went and checked it out. I was like, oh, I wonder if I can, might as well put $10 of Best Buy credit that I have here towards the game, save myself $10, right? So Best Buy is one of those things that you cannot modify orders, so you have to cancel and reorder, right? For you to apply your things. Dude, so I cancel the order, right? No problem, fine. I go back to get the game, sold out. So all pre-orders are sold out for the deluxe edition. The standard edition was still there. I was like, oh.
You had it.
What did I do? So I called Best Buy, right? I was like, I wonder if they can just reopen the order. And I get pissed. I was like, screw this crap. I'm going to go to the room. I'll just call Best Buy.
Right.
I messed up, right? So I called Best Buy, and when I inputted the order number, it said, oh, this is the order number for this thing, this thing, this thing. Your balance is 0. The order has been canceled. And then followed by orders cannot be reopened. You need to reorder. I was like, oh no, what I do? So here I was like, no, I mean, I gotta get this thing. It's like, there's no going around it, right? I want to get the game. So I was like, oh, that's fine. You know what? I'll miss on the rewards points, but I'll just go to Amazon and reorder. Sold out.
Everywhere.
Dude, so I found it. It's like, you know what? It's like worst case scenario, right? I'll just pre-order on PSN. And and that way I can just get the pre-order bonus, because I that's the thing, I didn't want to miss the pre-order bonus, which is the extra costumes, and of course I'm gonna get the deluxe edition because I want the extra stuff. I'm not gonna get the regular one. So I googled it and I was like, all right, so I'm gonna Google the MC5 deluxe edition and I'll see what retailers have it. So the first hit was GameStop. I was like, okay, let's see. So GameStop had it, And I didn't, dude, I didn't even log into my GameStop account because I don't even remember the password. I haven't logged in like.
Yeah.
I haven't logged in like 9 years, to be honest with you. To that account.
I just add the points with my phone number when you're there. If you do it, you know.
Yeah. So I on the site, and this didn't even cross my mind. I have a GameStop here, like 3 minutes away. And I could just go to GameStop, put the $5 towards the game, and go pick it up on Friday, right, or Saturday.
Yeah.
So I go to the website. I don't even log in. I just put in my PayPal account and pay with PayPal, and that's it. Screw it. And it went through. I was like, and then like, I'm stressing out throughout the whole day. And then it's like, I have zero faith that GameStop's gonna come through. It's like, this sucks. This is terrible. I'm just gonna cancel everything and just order on PSN. But then on Monday, my card gets hit. I was like, okay, so if my card got hit,
they have to do it.
That means I'm getting it, yeah. But, and also, GameStop, if you're listening, come on. It's like, charging for day one shipping, that's why you're in trouble.
It's true.
So I just put in the regular shipping, the 2 to 4 days. It's like, I'm actually at getting towards the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, so I'm just going to try and knock that out this weekend. And the next week, I'll play the MC, whatever, when I have time. So, it's not like I'm not in a hurry. I just don't want to miss up on, the pre-order bonuses and whatnot. But holy crap, dude. It's like, and of course, I tried to look for it on Best Buy, and there's plenty of Xbox versions. But all the PS4 Deluxe editions are sold out everywhere, pretty much. Oh, man. I was so upset. And it's like the last time, and then I went back and remember, and I'm trying to remember. It's like, I think the last time I did something like this was for Metal Gear. But Metal Gear, I actually placed my order first and then canceled my old order. It's like, that's what I should have done. But no, I just went and straight up canceled it and went to re-add it. I was like, oh no, what did I do? So, yeah. Messed up, but Joel, we got
recovery, man. Recovery.
No, yeah, man. I had to make it work. It's like I said, worst case scenario, I'll just buy it digitally. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna miss it forever. But
you and I are of that old mindset to physical copies are first.
I'm still stuck on that. Yeah,
I'm with you, man.
Yeah, it sucks though, because I'm running out of space to put crap around my house. So, I'm just like, you know what? Maybe next gen I'll think about it.
Sure.
Maybe with the Switch.
Depends on storage, right?
Yeah, I think I'll do that with the Switch. Like with the Switch, I bought a few things, right? I bought 3 games right off the bat, but the next batch, it's probably just gonna be all digital because, I'll buy an SD card and just try to not have as much crap around. I mean, I can see the appeal of all digital. But Joe, speaking of all digital, we'll go into that later on. Well, let's jump into what's going on right now, and it's that Will Smith is out of Suicide Squad 2, and breaking news, Joe, is that Idris Elba is going to be replacing Will Smith on this sequel, which to me speaks of the potential quality of this movie. If they're able to actually sign in, get someone like Idris Elba come in to this movie, that means 1, he's done with Marvel. 2, this movie is potentially going to be good, because for him to actually sign into the project, that means that there's pretty good hope.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Will Smith is essentially exiting the role. Early reports were that it came down to the age-old issue of scheduling conflicts for him and the timing of when they were working on the production of Suicide Squad 2 with James Gunn. And, basically Will told them, like, I'm not going to be able to make it. I'm not going to hold this film hostage, that you can't film this movie unless my schedule is clear. And knowing Will Smith, he's probably like booked for the next 3 years on movies. Like, that guy's always doing stuff. So he just his schedule is probably nowhere near clear to do this movie. And instead of holding hostage, they go ahead and make the movie. And basically, Warner's were contemplating. This was earlier on before this breaking news, but Warner's was contemplating: do we replace Will? Do we just withhold the character and basically allow Will to re-enter at a later time if they do continue this franchise of Suicide Squad and then reprise the role? Obviously, with the reports being today, it sounds like, and it makes sense to me. The character of Deadshot is a very integral character. Was the main character of the first Suicide Squad movie. So
he carried the movie. Basically.
He did. He really did.
Yeah.
And so, having a guy like Idris Elba replace Will Smith, two different men, absolutely. I mean, so the demeanor is going to be different. But look, like you just said, this is talking about some quality stuff here. Obviously, James Gunn's script, and we've seen his stuff. I mean, with Marvel, this guy, builds world, builds stories, and keeps people interested and keeps people coming back. So it's good news. And obviously, with this also, look, I mean, we won't go into it because we've already talked about it at length before. But, with James Gunn's, the controversies that made him have to exit Guardians of the Galaxy, having a guy like Idris Elba join this, people shouldn't be shocked. Like, why does he want to work with James Gunn? No, like, this guy, Idris Elba, knows a little bit about second chances. Even if you don't know his background, you should look it up and do a Google search. He understands what it means to have a second chance and be given another chance, and Hollywood giving you that chance years later when you're a different person. And, James Gunn did apologize and didn't even defend any of the stuff that he's done, just moved on, accepted the consequences. And it's good to see that there's some positive news attached to this, because you and I, Obed, were not fond of the first movie. We were not at all. We talk about it as the forgotten DC movie. We'll talk about Batman versus Superman and Wonder Woman and Justice League and Man of Steel. And that movie. Yeah, it's the forgotten one. So it was good to hear some good news coming out about this attached. Let's see if it goes through. But Idris Elba is a fantastic choice. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, Will Smith, like we said, he carried the movie, basically the first one. If it wasn't for him, the movie would have been abysmal, because even
it was already rough.
It was already rough. Yeah. So without him, I can only imagine. So having him attached to this movie, I'm good. Like, if there was someone that needed, that could, when I first heard the news last week, it was concerning, because basically that's the first thing I thought. I was like, well, he carried the first movie. That means that this second movie, unless James Gunn really knocks it out of the park with a script and the directing, then that'll be, that movie will have a chance. But now, having Idris Elba attached to the project, I think it's a great fit for Deadshot. The way that Will Smith played the character in the first movie, it was not the regular Will Smith. It was something a little bit more serious. He was really into the role, you could tell. So yeah, I think it's a great choice. I think that they lucked out on this one, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's a great match. I didn't see this coming.
No, yeah, seriously, it's a great get. Yeah, that's cool. We'll see. It's one of those movies that, we have hopes that it could be definitely better than the first one. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, and like what you said about James Gunn, it's not like he, there wasn't any misconduct. It's just things that were said. So I think it's a lot easier for him to recoup. Versus, sure. Man, I was super bummed because I just realized that Superman Returns is super ruined right now, because you get Bryan Singer and Kevin Spacey.
I know, isn't that crazy? I know, right?
That's rough, bro.
That's crazy, man.
That's rough.
Yeah.
I won't see that movie the same way again. But yeah, Idris Elba he's a good looking dude.
Yeah,
so
man.
We'll see what he can do. He's got a great presence. So
yeah. No, but like you're saying about the James, just really quickly on the James Gunn script stuff, yep. News has come out. I think we talked about it here, but basically Feige confirmed at the Oscars that they're using the James Gunn script for Guardians 3. So really, that exit was very much a PR of we just don't want to be associated with negativity with the movie. Movie comes out, all you're talking about is this guy's stuff. Disney wants to separate that, but they're still keeping the script, so obviously the content's going to be really good. So I think that's the same route that you're going to have here with Suicide Squad. Just it's different.
Yeah. Also, Drax punched a 70-year-old man last week.
Yes, he did. Drax.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. All right, Joe, picking up pretty good. 84%. I think that's pretty good.
How could you be mad, man? 84% Rotten Tomatoes critic. That's just sitting right now with over 180, I think, reviews in right now.
180, yep.
180, yeah. So, I mean, Obed, like, if we were talking even 72%, I would still think that's a great review. I'm like, to be quite frank, you know, that means this movie is more probably cohesive. It probably is entertaining. And you know, it's an origin story. Like, we have to know that going into it. We can't expect, like, we're spoiled, right? We just came off of Avengers Infinity War. Like, you know, we can't expect Avengers Infinity War and Captain Marvel. This is her movie. This is her origin. We gotta get to know her. And if we've learned anything from the past, Obed, Marvel doesn't like to jump steps. They give you the origin story, so then it matters, and we care about these characters when they do show up later on. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what the stepping stone is. As of the time of us recording this, this time tomorrow, I will have already seen the movie. So I look forward to it. We'll see what comes out of it. Obviously, Rotten Tomatoes had to stop those fake reviews that were coming up. People have already seen the movie and it's terrible. Like, they shut that down. But it's good to see some positive critic buzz around it. I've shut down a lot of social media, certain things I just turned off notifications for, because I know this is that spoiler time, and the last thing I need is some random Scrolls headline or something to show up and just ruin the movie for me. I'm a big purist. Yeah. I want a pure experience, and I look forward to talking about it next week.
Yeah, I haven't. I made a mistake, and I watched one of the DMC5 reviews today for the one from IGN, and I wasn't too happy at the end. I was like, because they did spoil a few things, so yeah, I wasn't too happy about that. But yeah, man, it looks like it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna hold. I think it's gonna hold around the 84-ish.
Yeah,
percent, because the top reviewers already watched the movie,
right?
So what we're gonna get probably, you know, starting tomorrow will be the rest of, you know, the people that didn't get any screenings, basically, or the critics that didn't get any screenings.
Yep.
So I think it'll hold. To be honest with you, and I'm happy to see that it's doing well. I mean, it's to be, you know what. Wonder Woman's at 93. This one's at 84. Who's to say, right? You know, it's what was it? Is truth is in the eye of the beholder.
Exactly.
You know, it's
look, Black Panther, same thing, bro. They did the same thing with that movie. That movie's it's a very good movie. You know, I was you've seen the trailer, right, Obed? That's been on TV recently about, you know, some are built, some are made.
Yeah.
Some are born. Like, I love that that's the part that they're taking with this story. They're really advertising it as like the rise of a hero. We can relate to her. She's not this, you know, godlike character right off the bat. It's like she's literally had to overcome things to become, you know, we're seeing sports, you know, what she had to overcome in the military, and then now as a hero defending the entire galaxy. Like, it's going to be very interesting to see how they pull it off. Marvel's always been amazing with that. Obviously, Spider-Man probably is one of the most powerful examples of strong storytelling. I look forward to also seeing the Stan Lee tribute that's apparently in the beginning of the movie. We'll see how that is.
Yeah. I'm curious. I'm actually very curious about that, because you know, it's, you gotta be it's good that it's a tribute, right? But at the same time, you have to be very careful, because fans get touchy when it comes to that.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm looking forward to seeing the movie. I'm actually gonna ask the wife if she wants to just catch it over the weekend, maybe. So if I can find a space, over in the movie theater where a 4-year-old can actually sit down for 2 hours and 8 minutes.
Let me pull in my Palpatine. Do it.
I knew you were gonna say that. That's great. Yeah, well, we'll see how that goes. Joel, Nintendo doesn't want you to spend more money on their smartphone stuff, but they are coming out with a new Mario Kart this summer. But interestingly enough, Joel, you sent me this article that came out on the Wall Street Journal about Nintendo, wanting users to not to go too crazy with their spending on their mobile apps. I appreciate that from Nintendo, right? Number one. Number two is like it was super coincidental that you sent me the article, and I actually just had bought because my daughter loves the Super Mario Run on her tablet. Yeah. So I went ahead and purchased it for her because she wanted to play the other worlds. But that game, as far as I know, doesn't have any other microtransactions after the $10, basically entry fee. So. This is very interesting.
I think it's good publicity.
Yeah, it's a very different take compared to all the other big issues that we've had with the Candy Crushes and EA has had major issues with their mobile stuff when it comes to monetization. Even Disney. They've had some issues with the Marvel stuff. Like their Marvel games are like either you grind forever or you buy your stuff. So true. It's kind of it's kind of hard. But yeah, I appreciate them having a different take on what it is the spending on mobile devices. Anything else that you have to?
Yeah, no, it's cool that they're not just saying like. You can easily publicly say something like, "Oh, we're trying to make our games affordable. We're trying not to, pull nickels and dimes off our clients." But they've even gone as far as basically to tell their developers, like, look, like limit microtransactions, limit these things. Like, we're not trying to put this stuff out there just to make a extra buck. And so it's good publicity. I thought it was worth the cover just because this is not something that you see often. Typically if there's a reversal, it's typically these guys are defending their microtransactions and defending their decisions, and Nintendo's coming out saying no, we're going to do what we can at an executive standpoint to limit it. So I find that very fascinating.
And it proves the point to a lot of the criticism that they had when Super Mario Run was first released, that now Nintendo's going to start doing those mobile stuff. And then the Switch comes out, and just everyone buys the Switch and buys their game. So yeah, I mean, this shows that mobile is not their focus, right? They do have their focus on the Switch right now, but whatever they can get from mobile, they'll get. So they're being very cautious and very smart about this. So
wow,
I appreciate that. Joe, R.I.P. for realsies this time, man. We talked about it a couple weeks ago, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah.
That there were some rumors that the PlayStation Vita was going to end production this year. Well, it happened earlier than we thought. And officially, as of now, the PlayStation Vita is no longer in production. Whatever stock is left out there, it's what it is. Needless to say that this does not apply to U.S. and Europe, because apparently production for U.S. and Europe was ceased a long time ago and didn't tell anyone. But this goes for the Japanese market, which, they still sell, a few thousand PS Vitas a month. After this, you would assume that those numbers are going to go significantly down, if not non-existent, because people are going to start grabbing Vitas, start importing Vitas. So, yeah, end of an era, man.
That's it.
No Sony handhelds for now.
Break out the violin. This is basically telling us all, guys, like you just mentioned about the U.S., Europe, now this with Japan, there is literally nowhere in the world that they are building new PlayStation Vitas. Whatever new Vitas that are out there, that's it. Like if there's a brand new, straight off the press, boxed Vita, that's it, guys. So it's kind of crazy to fathom. Yeah. It's come a long way. It's lived a life.
For as bad as they did, because they didn't do good at all.
Not at all.
It did take a long time because it came out September 2011 in Japan. So, you were talking about 8 years, 8.5 years almost.
Yeah.
So, I can see the remnants of what's left in Japan being sold or being exported or imported from here, and whatever games are left, to come out, they'll come out throughout the rest of the year. I really don't see any releases coming into next year.
Oh, sure.
And of course they said that the cards, or basically the game cards they basically ceased production of the actual cards a few months back, and that's why places that did the like limited release and all this stuff, they weren't able to get their hands on cards, and this is why the version of Bloodstained got canceled, because they knew that the console was already done. So why spend resources on a console that's not gonna produce? So I totally understand that. To be honest with you, man, I played that game that I mentioned a few weeks ago, Iconoclast. I finished it a couple weeks ago, and after that, I haven't touched my Vita. I still haven't finished the Final Fantasy. I wanted to say Record Keeper, but it's not. It's Record Keepers on the mobile. World of Final Fantasy. Never finished it. I think I'm about halfway through that game, but it sort of overstayed its welcome. So yeah, I'll see if I can grab it again. I mean, I'm using it. I've used it for remote play. And just basically just to run updates on the PS4. Yeah. So I just use it for remote play and run it if there's any updates. I'll just run it from the Vita. But yeah, man, end of an era. There's currently not a Sony handheld in the market, essentially. Will there be another one? We don't know.
I hope so.
Potentially. I mean, based on some rumors that are out there, there may be something in the works. At this point, at this point, I'll say no. But I mean, there's the potential, right, for them to do it right. And if they go all digital, I mean, and they don't have to rely on building cartridges, and if they focus on the right markets, they may have a chance. So we'll see. But
yeah, man, I'm hopeful. I want another one, but we'll see.
Yeah, man, end of an era. Yeah, real bummer. I mean, again, it's the little console that couldn't, because it's a great console, but it's unfortunate. What's unfortunate, Joel? Anthem.
Oh, Anthem.
So apparently there were reports, including some internet personalities posting on Twitter. It's like, yo, I just got Anthemed, and it was basically their PlayStation 4 crashing and booting into safe mode and doing a disk check. This is like a hard, like a power loss, basically. It's the same error code, I believe, that you get when you get when you lose power on your console. Whoa. So it's a pretty hard crash. Yeah. So apparently this was an issue. A lot of PS4 users reported it to Sony. Sony started apparently offering refunds if you bought the game digitally. Unfortunately, if you purchase the game on a store, once you open it, you cannot exchange it. So, but if you bought the game digitally, apparently Sony was offering refunds. There was an update here from yesterday yesterday afternoon that there's a workaround because a lot of users were thinking that it's a hard crash and the PS4s were not turning on back on. That this was like, oh, it got bricked. So basically, you'd have to physically go and do like the power button hold for 10 seconds, boot into recovery mode, rebuild database, and then your PS4 is fine. Man, it's crazy. I mean, the EA Help put out a tweet out there, saying that they were aware of the issue, but man, talk about not catching a break, dude. Because the game came out to mediocre reviews. The users are not happy. The game's too short. It doesn't really have a lot of content. Yeah, this is like way out of form for a BioWare game that they've supposedly been working for 6 years. So I don't know, dude. What's up with this? Dude? What do you think?
Yeah, we've covered like already now a couple times, issue after issue with this specific new release, and I mean this was supposed to be a huge success for them. I mean this was pinned at the highest of games to be anticipated for the year, and it's been a letdown would be an understatement. I mean, yeah. It's a tragedy.
It's a full disappointment.
Yeah. Yeah. This is bad. This is gonna be one of those games that literally we reference and talk about and say, remember that Anthem game and what happened there? Because when you're literally having like crashes like this after the negative press that we've talked about priorly, and you and I talked about can they fix this? Okay, like, well, putting resources behind it. They're basically biting the bullet financially now at this point, where they're just trying to make sure this thing just operates, because I mean it's not the place that you want your business to be in the middle of, and yes, like you're mentioning, yes, BioWare, but still the attachment to EA, man, this is not a good look. So yeah, dude, I don't know.
Yeah, man, this is not really not a good look for BioWare. I mean, I don't know the ins and outs and what happened and how this game was changed and what the tops at EA made them do, to switch the game around.
Sure.
I think that they're too late to the party. When games like Destiny have already been building up a player base for 5 years, other games that are out there that are free to play like Warframe have been doing similar gameplay. They have a similar gameplay style. They've been doing it for almost 7 years now, I think. So and then you get other older stuff like Borderlands and other games. So in my opinion, they're just too late to the party, and people they compare the state of this game with Destiny. It's sort of unfair when you've had already 5 years working with your project versus just putting out this one. But at the same time, the biggest issue here is that they're too late to the party. They thought that they were gonna cash into a trend that's not even that popular, to be honest with you.
No.
So I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure that someone at EA saw that this was coming and asked Respawn, "Yo, is Apex Legends ready?
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and do it," because they needed something. Because this was gonna bomb, and it looks like it's not doing great. So,
wow,
yeah, it's again another bummer because the game visually looks fine. Like to me,
sure.
Yeah, to me this game is more appealing visually than Fallout 76. I never liked how the Fallout games look. They to me they don't. If you ask me, they don't have good graphics. So, visually this game's a lot more appealing, and maybe even with the gameplay. So I wouldn't say it's as bad as Fallout 76, but it's bad. it's pretty damn bad, and it's a shame for BioWare. Again, hopefully EA. I think EA could benefit from a change in leadership, to be honest with you, and maybe take the company in a new direction. And we'll see. Again, like EA and Activision, they're they're two big, basically the two biggest publishers, but at the same time, there's so many issues with their products that it's crazy to see how they manage. And then you look at people like Capcom, what they were able to do in the last 3-4 years, and just basically turning the entire company around into a putting hit after hit after hit. It's crazy. So EA can definitely learn a really good lesson from Capcom right there.
I agree. This is like I said, it's that unfortunate negative attachment for EA to just another thing. So yeah, there's a lot of lessons to be learned here.
Yeah, for sure. Joe, last article that I have here that I wanted to talk about is something that I've been predicting for I want to say a couple of months now.
Oh yeah, months. For a while, yeah.
Yeah. And there was a supposed leak at Microsoft for a project codename Maverick or Xbox Maverick, and it is to be according to the sources over at Windows Central, being a pretty legit site when it comes to these things. They usually don't post this sort of articles unless they're 100% certain. They are saying that this Xbox Maverick is going to be called Xbox One S All Digital Edition. That's a name right there, Joe. And this will be, of course, as the name implies, a disc-less Xbox, basically primed for Game Pass and the streaming service. And this is coming out pretty soon. So apparently this is going to be released in May. So basically a couple of weeks before E3 in essence, and pre-orders are going to go up in April. Before I do another prediction, Joe, what do you think?
Man, first of all, you hit it on the nose. We talked about the that's way too long of a name. So let's see what happens there. I'm gonna be very fascinated. Should this be real? And it sounds like it. I mean, you predicted it. Now we're hearing reports about it. This makes perfect sense. So I'm under the assumption that yes, it's absolutely happening. I just can't wait to see what his name is gonna be. And then from a firmware standpoint, like this sounds like this is going to be a lot easier for them to manufacture. It's going to be a lot easier from a financial standpoint to get this out there and obviously get out there swift. Oh, but that's quick. April 2019, if I'm not mistaken, you just said?
That's April. Let me look at the actual mid-April.
That's pre-ordered, but man, that's gonna be fast turnaround time. You're gonna just expect just to keep that same community that are not buying your Xbox One S and now go and buy this new box. Like, man, I don't know. I don't like that connection still to the prior gen. And then just this swift of a decision. Yes, this has obviously been a decision that it seems like they've been working on for a while. But regardless, Obed, I'm very concerned for their sake, about this kind of a decision at this time. I think it makes sense, but
especially
wait for next gen.
Yeah, especially with it being Xbox One S hardware.
Right, it's old.
So it's the old hardware. It's not the X. So this is not the 6 teraflop Xbox. This is the other one. This is the one that little Jimmy was very sad on Christmas Day.
Oh, poor little Jimmy.
Well, he got the wrong one. Joel, my prediction: this box is going to be pretty small. So just removing the drive, I'm thinking that at this point they're able to miniaturize the main board small enough where they can fit this on a very small case. And dude, my prediction is that they're gonna be very aggressive, and this thing's gonna cost like $150.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
150 tops. Like this is like
Does it work like a smart device as well, you think? Like a Roku kind of thing, Apple TV, maybe some smart apps, you would think. So that's going to help it in sales too, maybe, you know?
Yeah, because they'll
bring
have
Xbox
the services
to the home.
Yeah, they'll have the services. They'll have Netflix and Hulu and everything that you'd run on an Xbox. Another prediction, I don't think this is going to have the HDMI in for the cable boxes like the older Xbox have. That was part of their TV initiative back when they back in the Don Matrick era.
Fake claps.
Yeah. TV. So yeah. I mean, like I said, 150 tops. It wouldn't shock me that they say let's lose money, let's get this thing out there, let's sell it for $99. It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah,
could work at the price point. We'll see.
Yeah, at this point it would surprise me. I mean, very interesting stuff, and they're doing it right before E3, so they really want to get this one out of the way. And E3 probably talk about, was it Anaconda and Lockhart, which are their two other Xbox projects that they're having. So we'll see.
Obed, if this is one of those things, so I will say, if there was something that I was looking forward to Microsoft publishing and I didn't have an Xbox console and I knew it was going to be able to be streamed / downloaded to this device, it would make me interested. If it's at a cheaper price point, like, and there was a game I was looking forward to, this is not a bad option from that regards.
Seriously, if this thing's $99 and you just pay your fee for Game Pass, it's probably worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that point, sure. I mean, it's cheap enough where you don't have to, it doesn't feel like an investment. Right. So I think that's what they're looking for. I think they're looking for having it not feel like you're investing a ton of money. They'll have the streaming service ready, which apparently it'll, the games coming out for the new Xbox are going to be in, and you can stream through this console, so you don't have to get the $600 hardware.
Right.
You can still have this small, $99 to $150 box and be able to stream those next gen games to it. I think that's a pretty good idea. Of course, the hardcore are not gonna go into this, because the hardcore, they want their big box and they want games to run locally, and that's fine.
Yep.
But to the average people that may want this option,
this is easier for Aunt Sally to get for little Billy. She can maybe spend that money and say, you know what, little Billy, we got you the Xbox One S, all inclusive, whatever they want to call it.
But the thing is that if little Billy already has an Xbox One S,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, yeah, because it's the same piece of hardware. Yeah,
he still doesn't have his X.
Yeah, exactly. He still doesn't get 4K.
Exactly.
He still doesn't get 4K. But very interesting stuff, Joe. Of course, we'll keep you posted with any other developments and all these news. In the meantime, Joel, where can people hear from us?
Absolutely, guys. Thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to us here on No Load Time. Make sure to be subscribed to us. You can subscribe to our audio podcast versions on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Spotify now. And then, of course, you can be subscribed to our video version on our YouTube channel. Please give us a follow on social media at No Load Time. That's at No Load Time on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. Please feel free to send us any questions, comments, feedback. We really appreciate it. Welcome it. It's great. We really appreciate it. So send an email to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. Again, we look forward to talking with you more on our next episode. Until then, have a great time.
Thank you, guys, and we'll see you again next time.